And nearly a month into the government shutdown, tempers are boiling over. Coming up, what's at stake as food benefits run out, troops wait for paychecks, and millions brace for impact. Plus, a high-stakes sit-down between President Trump and China's president. We'll have fresh details about new signs of progress on trade and a surprising move from the White House on nuclear weapons testing. But first, we are taking a live look outside. Noah, what's the weather looking like today? Finally, some sunshine out there.
Absolutely, yeah. Lots of sunshine. That was a much different story earlier this week where we were just socked in the clouds. Some areas across northwest Arkansas actually haven't really seen the sun since, believe it or not, last week. So it's certainly a nice sight to be seeing there. 54 there in Fayetteville, 52 in Bentonville. On the River Valley side, 58 degrees there in Fort Smith. Ozark currently sitting at 55 degrees and lots of sunshine across the board. There's going to be a few clouds working their way in across the board, but overall it's going to be a fairly comfortable and a little bit of cooler of your Thursday. Here's that weekend forecast. We're going to be still seeing on the cooler side across northwest Arkansas, upper 50s generally speaking. We have a slight 20% chance of rain there on Saturday, which I'm going to talk about in my full main weather, but overall it's going to be looking a lot drier than what we saw this past weekend. In the River Valley, we'll see those temperatures right around those lower 60s for both Saturday and Sunday. Don't forget, we have to turn that clock back an hour from Saturday night into Sunday morning. We gain an hour of sleep there, but the only caveat is that our sunsets heading to next week are going to be a little bit earlier, so that's something that we'll have to deal with. Here were our observed lows this morning. Overall, a lot of areas saw those lower 40s, even a couple upper 30s, Rogers, Fayetteville. We're going to be seeing colder temperatures than this come tomorrow morning. Potentially our first frost, maybe even a couple areas that get close to 32. We're going to talk about that, as well as those small rain chances heading into this weekend.
All right, thanks for that, Noah. Well, it's now day 30 of the government shutdown, and still no signs that Democrats or Republicans are willing to budge. As CBS's Jared Hill tells us, the ongoing stalemate is happening as a major deadline approaches for food assistance at the end of the week.
Emotions flaring on the Senate floor.
This isn't a political game. These are real people's lives that we're talking about.
Nearly a month into the government shutdown.
People should be getting paid in this country. And we've tried to do that 13 times. And you voted no 13 times.
When you hold power, when you're in the majority, you meet people. You pull them in.
Republicans and Democrats sparring over a Dem push to fund nutrition programs like WIC and SNAP after the Department of Agriculture said it would not reach into a contingency fund to extend the benefits.
Never before, under any president, Democrat or Republican, has SNAP been cut off in a shutdown, and Trump knows he can do it.
The two sides remain at odds, with Democrats wanting to extend health care subsidies, Republicans arguing that should happen after the government is reopened. It's coming to a head amid major deadlines. Troops are due to be paid Friday. Saturday, health care premiums are set to increase when open enrollment for the Affordable Care Act begins. The same day, food stamp benefits are set to expire. As family farms, restaurants, and food banks work to try and fill the gap.
We are preparing for November to be our busiest month ever.
Experts warn it will not be enough.
It's also at an entirely different scale. So for every meal that a food bank provides, SNAP is providing 9.
A dire realization as the nation approaches that dangerous cliff. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Well, the administration is expected to cover military pay again tomorrow. Locally, we've been getting word from several groups that are setting up food banks for anyone affected by the shutdown. You can find a list of food banks around our area on our website, or just text the word food to 479-785-5000 and we'll send you a list. Well, happening now in northwest Arkansas, the U.S. Postal Service is looking for people who need a job. This is video from a job fair this morning, and a second one started minutes ago at the Fayetteville Post Office on Dixon Street. It wraps up at 2 this afternoon. USPS says that it pays more than $20 an hour and provides benefits and room to grow within the organization. You can head to our website for more information. Well, President Trump is on his way back to Washington hours after his high-stakes meeting with the Chinese president. The president described the nearly 2-hour-long meeting as friendly and announced that the two leaders could be close to signing a trade deal after reaching an understanding on multiple outstanding issues. President Trump says that he plans to go to China in April of next year. Ahead of the meeting, the president also announced plans to ramp up U.S. nuclear weapons testing.
I think we're going to have a fantastic relationship for a long period of time.
I see them testing. I say, well, if they're going to test, I guess we have to test. I'd like to see a denuclearization.
President Trump overnight repeated his interest in meeting with North Korea's leader, saying that a busy schedule prevented it during this trip. The president also told reporters that he and the Chinese president have agreed to work together to try and end Russia's war on Ukraine. More attacks from Russia in southeast Ukraine have hurt more than a dozen people, including 6 children. They were inside targeted apartment buildings. Russia is stepping up attacks on Ukraine's energy sector ahead of winter, with the latest attacks causing widespread power outages. Ukraine's prime minister says that Moscow is trying to create a humanitarian catastrophe as temperatures begin to drop. Well, Halloween may be tomorrow, but not everyone is ready. Many Arkansans are expected to buy last-minute costumes and decor today, some from pop-up stores, but local businesses might everything that you need for the spooky season. The average consumer is expected to spend nearly $40 on their costumes this year. That's up more than $10 over last year, primarily from tariff impacts. Party Place owner Melody Sanford says each year that her business brainstorms ways to stand out against corporate seasonal stores. This is an establishment that's open all year long.
Pop in for 2 months and then leave. Yeah, it is. It's very frustrating, I would say, that's where people just think to go first. You know, we try to have customer service, really help the customers find what they're looking for. I don't know that you get that with big box stores.
Sanford says tariffs impacted budgets when buying stock, but she's still listing costumes at 50% off. And she says new costumes arrived just this week. Well, the University of Central Arkansas now has a new advisory council in Northwest Arkansas. Their main focus will be to strengthen the school's presence and impact in the region. UCA officials say that they also expect the advisory council to connect alumni living in the area.
We want them to give us their insight. They've got real world experience up here. We want them to give us their insight about what employers are looking for, the types of jobs that they're looking for, the types of careers that are going to be growing as this region continues to grow and to evolve.
UCA estimates that they have more than 4,000 alumni living in Benton and Washington counties. Well, the world is still talking about that brazen Louvre heist, and today there were 5 more arrests to tell you about. A local prosecutor announced the arrest happened late Wednesday. The 5 were detained in separate operations in and around Paris. While more suspects have been caught, the crown jewels that they allegedly took are still missing.